Hello and welcome to Rathod Science Academy. Today in this session, we are going to see very important articles that appear in our today's newspaper. First, I'll let you know important topics of the day, and later on, we are going to analyze those articles from prelims, mains, and interview point of view. And at last, I'll be giving you prelims practice questions from this today's current affairs as well, please. Online students, please don't skip this video anyway. Please do watch until last so that you'll be getting lots of insights regarding your current affairs preparation. Okay, let us see the topics of the day. The first one is India to sign US deal only after clarity on rates. In February month, we discussed that India and US, they are going to have a deal. So now we are going to extend that to bilateral treaty between India and US. But India is clear on its stand that whatever the things that are part of this agreement, we need to get the clear-cut idea. Then only we are going to come up with signing of this agreement. And this article is important from GS paper 2 under international relations. And next topic is naval ships escort Indian vessels from Gulf of Oman. So you know about West Asian crisis and LPG crisis in India and even crude oil crisis. So because of this, we are setting certain naval ships so that they are providing escort. Escort is nothing but it is like a security service for these vessels which are carrying this oil and as well as gas. So this topic is important from again international relations from GS paper 2. Next topic is shutdown protest rallies in Ladakh over statehood. 6 scheduled demands. So actually protests are going on in this Ladakh and the people of this Ladakh, they are asking for 6th schedule. So already we discussed about this topic in either classes. Just let us have a revision regarding the 6th schedule. And this topic is important from GS paper 2 under polity. And next topic is believe as a test of a new model of forest finance. This article is talking about recently finalized COP30 summit. Okay, we have to say about what is that COP30 summit said and what are the outcomes and especially what are the short fallings of this summit. This topic is important from GS paper 3 under environment and ecology. Next topic is beginning and end. So this article is talking about right to die with dignity and already we discussed about that article in our earlier classes. So just we are going to see the gist of that article and this is important from GS paper 2 under polity again. Next topic is why India must electrify its kitchens because of ongoing crisis of LPG now in India. So this article is saying that we need to go for electrification of our kitchens. So here we have to see about what are the possible alternatives that we have to come out of this situation of LPG crisis now. And this topic is important from your environment and ecology, economy and as well as GS paper 2 under international relations. Okay, say this title guys, read out the title. India to sign US deal only after clarity on rates. This article is very important guys. To understand this article, you have to know certain background. So what is the background? You have to go back to September, October month of 2025. So what happened in this month of September, October 2025 between India and US? What happened between India and US guys? US started imposing more and more tariffs on Indian exports, right? So how much tariff US started imposing? 50%. Okay, why this 50%? What is the reason? After this Trump 2.0 era, that means after this Trump again came into power for the second time, he wants to focus on protectionism of the trade and he wants to promote an agenda that is America is for Americans and he wants to come up with trade balance with the countries with which US is having trade deficit. So because of this, they started imposing 25% of tariffs on Indian goods. And later on, US wants to end this Russia-Ukraine war and US wants to hit this Russia economically. So because of this, what happens? Russia, because of this financial crisis or economic crisis, it will stop the war. That is the idea of US. Because of that, US came up with Russian Sanction Act of 2025. And under this act, what it said? Any country which is importing oil and as well as energy from this Russia, on those countries we are going to impose tariffs up to how much percent? 500%. Under that Russian Sanction Act, US started imposing extra 25%. Totally, US started imposing 50% of tariffs on our Indian goods. This is a story. So because of this 50% of tariffs, so which sectors have been affected more in India? Which sectors? Especially labor intensive sectors. What are those? For example, textiles, pharmaceutical industries. Next one is seafood of AP. Next one is leather industries, etc. got affected, and even apparel industry. Apparels, textiles, pharmaceuticals, seafood industries, and as well as leather of our country got affected. Right, and later on in month of February, in February 2026, what is the update we got? Yes, we are going to reduce this tariff from 50% to how much? 18%. And now if it goes in a good way, now we want to sign bilateral trade agreement with US now. Okay, so this is the story, and now India is saying that we want to know terms and conditions of this agreement clearly, then only we will move forward to sign this bilateral trade agreement with US. Because of this it is in US. So how can you get a question in your examination? In your exam you may get questions related to what is this tariffs. That is the first area. And second area is which of our sectors got affected badly because of this tariffs. It is also a possible question. Why it is a possible question is because of our seafood industry which had been hit badly in our country. We are going for this MIC certification for this seafood so that we want to increase our exports. So on that point of view, you may get a question on the seafood industry. And recently we also discussed about the seafood industry of AP which is hit badly. And next one here is you may also get a question related to bilateral trade agreement. Consider the following statements regarding bilateral trade agreement. Okay, so in these areas you may expect your prelims based questions, guys. Now let us see the title once again. India to sign US deal only after clarity on rates. Okay, now you guys, you know about the background, you know about history, you know about how this Trump is. So now you guys just tell me what kind of clarity we need related to this rates. What exactly we want? Which will be benefited? Okay, now let us go back here. At that time, can you recall we discussed about Bangladesh, Vietnam, they are going to get advantage, something related thing. What we discussed at that time? Because of this high tariffs which imposed on our Indian goods will become costly. That market is occupied by which countries? Bangladesh and Vietnam. At that time, we discussed about Bangladesh trade deal with US. Bangladesh is on this Bangladesh goods only less amount of tariffs is imposed by this US. So because of this, our Indian market is going to be occupied by this Bangladesh and Vietnam. Yes or no? That is the thing that we discussed on that day. Can you recall that point? So now the clarity is other countries are getting under this bracket of 18% or less. We need to get a clarity. If we are not getting a clarity that if this Bangladesh or Vietnam is getting less than this 18% or not. If Bangladesh and Vietnam are getting less than this 18%, again India will be getting disadvantaged, right? So what is the need of signing this agreement with US now? So because of this, India wants to get a clear-cut clarity on rates on not only Indian goods comes under which bracket, even other goods of other countries also. If you are getting that less, then only we are going to move towards this bilateral trade agreement. Are you understanding? Okay, now let us see the context here. India will sign a trade deal with US only after country settles its tariff architecture and clarifies country-wise tariff rate. First one here is we have to know like which goods are coming under which bracket. For example, India is good at pharmaceutical sector, pharmaceutical exports. India is good at electronics. India is good at textiles, and even food products like agriculture, etc. So like that, we have to know which product is getting how much amount of tariff. And next one here is we need to get the country wise tariff list on that product. For example, India is attracting 18% tariff on electronic goods. How other countries are getting this kind of percentage of tariff on those goods from other countries? So we need to get the country wise, product wise list, and even we want to get this product wise list of India. Then only we can move forward for this bilateral trade agreement. That is about this title of this article. And now let us see the other details. Okay, we came up with an interim agreement in the month of February 2026, and we are stepping towards full bilateral trade agreement with US now. And under this framework, US agreed to apply a reciprocal tariff rate of 18% on key Indian exports. So what are those exports which are covered here is, first one is textiles, apparels, next one is leather or footwear, plastics or rubber, chemicals, home decor, and as well as machinery, etc. So earlier, how much percentage of tariff they used to impose? 50. Now it had been decreased to 18 percentage. And this one here is they are going to remove tariffs entirely on this generic pharmaceuticals, gems and diamonds, and as well as aircraft parts. That means they are not imposing blanket ban of decreasing of tariffs from 50 to 18 percentage on all goods. There is certain rates. Okay, so for this aircraft, diamonds and gems, pharmaceuticals, there is zero tariff, and for other products it is 18%. You have to remember this, and on this UPSC can frame a statement in this way. In this bilateral trade agreement between India and US, they are going to impose 0% tariff on all goods or 18% tariffs on all goods. Don't confuse. Only on some goods it is 18%, on some goods it is 0. Okay, and India committed to eliminate or sharply reduce tariffs on US industrial good. It is a bilateral, means if US is doing something, in return India also has to do something. So India is also going to reduce tariffs on US goods. And one more important point here is we have a target of 500 billion trade between India and US, and we want to increase more elements under this trade so that we can reach our target of $500 billion. Okay, why India is insisting on clarity? Till today, we didn't ask about clarity, but for the first time, we asked clarity before signing a treaty. What are the reasons are? The first one is to protect comparative advantage. As we all know that, especially if India market is decreased in US, other countries market will be occupied that space. Those countries are China, Vietnam, Thailand, and Bangladesh. So we have to know whether these country goods are also imposing like 18% tariff or less than this 18%. If 18%, it is okay for India. If it is less than 18%, again India will be getting disadvantage. To know that, yes, we need to have a clarity of countries tariff list also. And next one is avoid signing into an unstable regime. So even Supreme Court of US gave a judgment. What is that US Supreme Court judgment? Whatever the tariffs imposed by President Donald Trump is not right. It is the power of whom to impose a tariff? Congress. So here, if that is imposed means, obviously India will be free from tariffs. So we are waiting whether it is going to be imposed or not. Whatever the Supreme Court judgment which is given in US. That is the second thing. And next one here is strategic negotiating leverage. So if we are delaying this kind of agreements, if US is proposing any agreement, if you're signing immediately, means India will be not having any negotiating power. If we are delaying, means obviously we will be having certain power for negotiations. So here, if you are having this negotiation power, we can increase more and more goods under this bracket. So that is a one more important thing. And next one here is even opposition parties and industries, they're also criticizing for surrender waiting shields of the government. So because of that also, in our government, present government, which is in the ruling, that is the ruling party, which is delaying all these things and is asking clarification. So all these are the important things that you have to remember. And now you guys tell me, if we sign this bilateral trade agreement between India and US, what are the possible impacts? What are the possible advantages for our economy? Come on. What are the advantages if we are signing this bilateral trade agreement with US? First one here is there is decreasing of tariffs. If there is decreasing of tariffs, what happen? Our goods will become cheap in US market and our goods will have good demand. So that what happens? Obviously, we can increase our exports to US. So exports we have to increase means first of all, we have to produce in our country. The production will be increased. If the production is increased, obviously it will contribute to our GDP. Okay, economic growth can be stimulated. Next. Huh? Okay, if you are increasing our exports, if US is buying our goods, it will be paying in dollars. Yes. So what happens? In our country, we can maintain proper forex reserves. Next, if we are getting more and more dollars into our country, then what happened? Demand for dollar is increasing or decreased? Uh, huh? If you are getting more and more dollars from US, we are getting more and more dollars to our country, India. So we are having good number of dollars. Means the demand for the dollar is increased or decreased? Decreased. So if demand for dollar is decreased, then what about demand for rupee? Increase. If demand for rupee increases, what happen? Rupee value will increase or decrease? Rupee value will increase. That will lead to appreciation of rupee. The problem here in our country we are facing is falling of rupee value. $1 is equal to how many rupees now? More than 92. For the first time ever, Indian rupee value had been reduced a lot, right? So here appreciation of Indian rupee is very important for us. So if you are signing this bilateral agreement treaty, we can get more and more dollars inflow into our country. So because of this more and more dollar inflow, there will be increasing of value of rupee. That concept is called as appreciation of rupee. Next, come on, other advantages. Trade surplus. Okay, we can maintain trade surplus with US. Accepted. Next, especially which sectors have been hit badly because of this tariffs? Labor intensive sector. So if you're boosting this labor intensive sector, what happened? We can increase employment opportunities in our country. If we are increasing employment opportunities, then what happened? Obviously, people who are working in that so and so industry will get what? Salary, wages. Then that will lead to improve standard of living, and that will helps to cut poverty in our country. So all these are the possible impacts of just signing this bilateral trade agreement. And even US and India relations are very important because India will be supporting India in international organizations. So for this support also, good terms and conditions with US is very important for India. Clear? Okay, see this next article, guys. Naval warships escort Indian vessels from Gulf of Oman. Okay, now tell me, guys, what does this title means? Naval warships escort Indian vessels from Gulf of Oman. So what is the keyword? Keyword is first one is Gulf of Oman, and second one is escort. What is the meaning of escort? They will provide protection, right? So have you ever seen whenever this CM convoy or PM convoy will be going before that vehicle of PM or CM, there will be lots of vehicles will be moving in the front and as well as backward. They are trying to provide protection. In the same way, we are getting oil and gas from this West Asian countries by protecting escort. Means you can understand how difficult the situation in this Gulf of Oman, Strait of Hormuz, especially in this West Asian countries. So, have you ever heard this kind of escort services for bringing oil or natural gas to India? No, for the first time it happened. Means you can understand how severe the situation in this West Asia now. Okay, now here you have to see certain things. So who will be providing this escort service in this water? Obviously it is our Navy, right? So here you have to see about equipments with Navy which they can use for protection services. First one here is we have frigates. So we have three kinds of equipments or instruments which are used by Navy for protection of safety. First one is frigates, second one is aircraft carriers, and third one is submarines. So now they are using these frigates to provide escort services for this movement of oil and gas from this West Asia. So why we have to provide this escort services now in this West Asia? The first important reason here is there is no safety in this Strait of Hormuz region. Why? Because Iran has sea mines. By using the sea mines, it is blasting the vehicles which are moving in that region. And you know, we are facing crisis of LPG and as well as crude oil crisis in India. To overcome situation, we don't have any other alternative. We have to bring this gas and oil from this West Asia at any cost. So for that, our government is ready to provide this escort services for these vessels which are carrying this LNG and as well as crude oil now. Okay, now let us see this article. And can you recall any operation that we discussed so far which is focusing on safety and security in this West Asia? Recently, we discussed one operation name. India launched one operation. Anyone? Operation Sankalp? Yes. Operation Sankalp is operation which launched by our country to provide safety and security in this region. So as part of this Operation Sankalp, now Government of India is providing this escort services. So whatever you are studying in your earlier class, nothing will be getting wasted. You have to connect that point to point. Okay? From which subject it is important, guys? How can you get a question here? Here Gulf of Oman is there. How can you get a question in this Gulf of Oman? Consider the following countries which are sharing boundary with Gulf of Oman is a possible question. And next one is now I said about one operation called as Operation Sankalp. So here what is this Operation Epic Fury? Operation Epic Fury, yesterday also we discussed. Israel and USA attacked this Iran, that is called as Operation Fury. Okay, then Iran also attacked this bases of US in West Asia, right? What is that operation called as? They will give one name, no? They give Epic Fury. What is this Iran's name? Operation? Operation Roaring? One more word is there. Lion. Okay, see that once. And next one is Operation Sindoor is in news because of operation of India. And we have Operation Sagar Bandhu. What is it? Operation Sagar Bandhu? Yes, India is providing humanitarian aid for this Sri Lanka, that is called as Operation Sagar Bandhu. So like that you have to see in last 1 year what are the operations which are there in news, and you may get pair based question. On one side operations, on another side countries, or what is the aim of that operation. That is one of the most possible question you will get. Okay, now let us see here. Indian Navy has deployed warships to escort Indian flagged merchant vessels which are coming from this Persian Gulf region. And they used certain ships called as Shivalik, Nanda Devi, and Jaglatki. So these are the three ships which are providing escort services now for the merchant vessels which are coming from this region. And next, why? Because India came up with this Operation Sankalp, which involves naval monitoring, escorts, and reassurance of commercial shipping in this Persian Gulf, Gulf of Oman, and Arabian Sea. As part of this Operation Sankalp, now we are providing this escort services. Are you understanding? Okay, now let us see why India is conducting these escorts. First important one here is we have to maintain energy security. Like we have to ensure that crude oil availability in our country and LPG gas, so that we can control price in the market, and we can also control inflation, and we can ensure that there is no shortage of oils and petrol, everything in our country. And next one here is we have to ensure merchant vessel safety. If there is any drone attack or missile attack on this merchant vessel which is carrying this gas or crude oil, is that safe. It is not safe for that environment. If that kind of accidents happens, means oil spill may happen. You know how much loss it will cause, oil spill, environmental costs. And next one here is even loss to that country which is exporting and as well as which is importing, and even many people will be there in that ship, so loss of life can also happen. So to prevent that all those things, now we are providing this escort services. And this one here is strategic reassurance. So this kind of acts which demonstrate India as a proactive net security provider, and India is one of the important country in this Indo-Pacific region, right? And many countries, they are dependent on India for this kind of security. Because of that only we are developing our naval base in different areas in this Indian Ocean region. Next one here is we have to focus on diplomatic balancing as well. So India maintains relations with all parties like US, Israel, Iran. All these three countries are important for India, so we cannot take stand against one country. So we need to focus on a diplomatic stand. So we are not directly involved in that, but we are trying to protect the shipping routes in that area. So these are the things that you have to remember. This, say this next article, shutdown protest rallies in Ladakh over statehood, 6 scheduled demands. What is this article talking about? Think about this title and tell me what is the background. If you want to understand this article, we have to go back to which year? 2019. We have to go back to 2019. I think many of you had not yet started your preparation in that time, right? So what happened in this 2019? We have two important articles in our constitution, Article 370 and Article 35A of Constitution. So these two articles talks about what? Special category status to JNK, Jammu and Kashmir. These two talks about special category status to Jammu and Kashmir. What our government did was, it removed these two articles from our constitution. And after removing of these articles in our constitution, they came up with one act called as Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Act. Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Act of 2019. And after they came up with this act, they divided this erstwhile state of Jammu and Kashmir into two union territories. Now we don't have any concept of state for Jammu and Kashmir. Now they divided into UT1 and UT2. UT1 is Jammu and Kashmir and UT2 is Ladakh. And this Jammu and Kashmir is having legislative assembly, but Ladakh is not having that. And at that time they said that if everything is settled, the situation comes into control, we are going to restore statehood for Jammu and Kashmir, and this Ladakh will be placed under Schedule 6. So this is the promise given by the government at that time of Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Act of 2019. And now we are in this 2026. Till now, there is no restoration of statehood for Jammu and Kashmir. This Ladakh had not been included under this Schedule 6 of Indian Constitution. Will people be silent? No, they started protest for this including of Ladakh in this 6th schedule from last 1 year onwards. Because of this, it is because of it is a news now, and this protest had been turned somewhat violent now. Because of this article is there. So what you have to see is, you have to see about the 6th schedule of Indian Constitution, and this is one of the favorite area of UPSC. Okay, now tell me guys, how many schedules we have in our Constitution? 12. Okay, what does this 5th schedule talks about? Scheduled areas. What about the Schedule 6 talks about? Huh? Be allowed. I can't hear you, Srivan. Be allowed. Assam. Assam, again doubt. Northeastern states which are dominated with this tribal population, they are included under this Schedule 6, right? And which states are there part of the Schedule 6? Remember like this, AMMT. You can remember this ATM, right? ATM with no money. That means Manipur is not there here. So we have two M's, no? One is Meghalaya, one is Mizoram. There is no Manipur. ATM with no money, you can remember in this way. Okay, because it is one of the repeated theme of UPSC where they asked about Schedule 6. Okay, what exactly you have to see is what are the provisions or the advantages which that area will be get if that is included in this schedule. So that is the thing that you have to see, guys. Because of that advantages only now Ladakh is asking for the sixth schedule, right? So you have to see what advantages that area will be getting if they are included under the schedule 6. So this is the one main question you can expect. And from prelims only just you have to see about what are the provisions of the sixth schedule of Indian Constitution. And this topic is important from again politics. So if you see about this background, Ladakh governance after this removal of Article 317 as well as 35A, they said that Ladakh will become a union territory without legislature, unlike this Jammu and Kashmir. And now this local people, they are demanding. In this Ladakh, we have apex body Leh and as well as Kargil Democratic Alliance. They are constantly demanding for the sixth schedule inclusion for autonomy and as well as protection of tribal interest. So wherever the area we have like very high population of these tribals, they can get the status of sixth schedule, guys. And if you see in our constitution, Article 244, which comes under Part 10 of Constitution, talks about this sixth schedule. Very important, write down the part. Part number 6 and as well as Article 244. In 2025 prelims, they asked question regarding this part. I gave you once this prelims practice question, amendment of constitution which part, emergency provisions which part. So like that, this sixth schedule is in news now. So you have to remember this part 10 for sure. Okay, Article 244 and part 10 of Indian Constitution talks about the sixth schedule. And it applies only to Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura and Mizoram. Okay, and fifth schedule covers scheduled areas other than the states except these 4 areas. And what are the salient features? If then any area which is listed under the sixth schedule, they can now have their autonomous districts, and the tribal areas are designated as autonomous district, and now the power is given to the governor. Governor is empowered to create, reorganize or alter boundaries. Very, very important point which had been asked in your PYQ. And next one here is district and regional councils they can establish, and each district council will have around 30 members. In this 30 members, we have 26 were elected and 4 were nominated. And now these councils will be having the power to legislate, to make the laws on land, forest management, shifting cultivation, village administration, inheritance of property, marriage, divorce and social norms. They are nothing but autonomous district councils. So autonomous district council have the power to make laws. So how can you get a question here is, what are the powers of autonomous district council, or in which of the following areas autonomous district council can make laws? So like that they'll give you all these things and you have to identify that. And next one here is they can also run schools, healthcare, markets and village courts, and even they can levy certain taxes. Okay, next one here is, you know about these areas, right? See this next article, guys. BLM as a test of a new model of forest finance. So what is this article talking about? I think you have completed your environment and ecology. In that, I think you came across this UNFCCC. What is this UNFCCC? What is the full form? United Nations Framework for Climate Change. Okay. So in that we have this COPs. What is the meaning of COP and what is the full form of this COP? Conference of Parties. What is this Conference of Parties is about? Every year they will meet and they will have discussions and they will come up with an agenda like what they have to do. That is right. So recently in 2025 in the month of November, COP 30 had been done. Okay, and this COP 30 had been done in this Belém area which is located in Brazil. So how can you get a question here is, you may get, consider the following statements regarding COP 30 highlights. They'll give you statements and they may ask you to identify correct and incorrect. That is the first possible question. And second possible question is, you have to remember important COPs and what are the outcomes of that. For example, Paris Climate Deal came up in which COP? COP number? Have you heard this Paris Climate Deal? What does it say? Decreasing of global temperature by 1.5 to 2 degrees centigrade compared to that of pre-industrial level. It came up in 2015. Okay, COP 50. Sorry, in 2015 it came, right? It is in 2015. So like that you have to see. Okay, and next one here is in 2025 where it had been held. Okay, like that you may get a question. And next one here is the possible question is important COPs and what are the highlights they may give you in the pair based questions, and even they may ask where the place it was held. Okay, so like that you have to be very careful with this COPs, Conference of Parties. Now let us see the highlights of this COP 30. Okay, 30th edition of this Conference of Parties of United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change concluded in Brazil, and the place is Belém. And here, if you see the outcomes of this COP 30, the first one here is they came up with package called as Belém package. So this Belém package includes about the discussions related to stronger finance. They want stronger finance for changing of this climate. And they said about transition measures. That means how we can move from non-renewable energy towards renewable energy. That is nothing but like how we have to come out of this fossil fuel use and to use this kind of solar energy or wind energy. That is about transition measures. They talked about adaptation tracking. That means is how the shifting is happening in a country. We have to go for tracking how much percent, and especially they want to track this whether these countries are taking the measures or not. And this one is they also said about gender inclusion. Why gender inclusion is important? So mostly women are left behind. So if we are including women also in this kind of climate change related strategies, obviously we can improve the outcomes. Recently we discussed about one panchayat which became the first village in our country which is of carbon free. What is that panchayat and where it is located and what are the ideas? In Maharashtra. What is the name? Not Maharashtra, I guess. Huh? Bela. Yes, it is Bela. Next. What are the steps they took? Did I discuss that? So because of that steps only they achieved that. What are the steps they took? Increased green cover. Next. Solar rooftops. Very good. If it is like this means how can you write your mains? If I ask any question that should be on your fingertips. If everything is in your fingertips then only you can jot down the points within 7 minutes. Until and unless if you can't remember all those things you can't write your mains within time limit, guys. Remember this, and you are getting enough time now. Earlier you complained me that I am not getting time, morning to evening only classes, I'm getting burden, stress. But now what happened? You are having only limited classes only, no. From now onwards not more than 5 hours for sure. Try to revise the things. If you are not revising, nothing will remember, nothing you can recall in your exam, guys. If I will not come to class for 10 days, you may ask, who is she? I don't know her. That question will come. That chance I won't give, but if in case, if I will not come to class for 10 days, you will forget me also. That is the capacity of human brains. Revise the things, guys. So here they are also asking about include gender as part of this climate adaptation strategies. And next one is they are saying to increase cooperation between the countries so that we can achieve our climate agreement goals. So what is climate agreement or Paris climate deal? So we have to reduce this global warming by 1.5 to 2 degrees centigrade as per pre-industrial era. And second important point they came up here is global Mutirao agreement. So in this agreement they said that we have to have a compromise between developed and developing countries. Why developed and developing countries has to compromise? So here already developed countries they released as much as emissions into atmosphere, because they started industrial revolution way back. So if you go back to our modern history, at that time itself, this Britain, they started this industrial revolution, and they used to take our raw material, and by using industries they used to make the final products, and again they used to transport to India, and they used to sell those goods in India. That is the fate of India at that time. In that way, lots of economic exploitation happened, that you know. So they started that time, but now in India we are starting industries in around 1990s only, right? So because of that, what happened? So always here developed countries, they released as much as emissions to atmosphere. They created this everything, and now they are asking these developed countries and least developed countries not to develop industries. Is that fair? No, because of this now we are talking about this finance, climate finance. These developed countries, they have to give money to this developing and as well as these developed countries, which will be helpful for transition towards renewable energy sources. And not only that, these developed countries has to transfer the technology to developing and as well as the least developed countries, so that they can focus on this climate change initiatives in their countries. That's the thing they mainly discussed here. And next one here is just transition mechanism. So in this COP30, they adopted new just transition mechanism, and this mechanism is also called as Balam Action Mechanism. And they want to support capacity building and as well as cooperation for workers and economies to shift away from fossil fuels. Okay, to shift away from fossil fuels, now developed countries will gonna help developing countries, and this mechanism is called as just transition mechanism. We came up in here in this COP30. And next one here is, we came up with global implementation tracker. That means how these developed countries or developing countries or least developed countries, what steps you are taking, whether that steps are improving this climate change or not. We need to have a proper tracker, and we are going to track how this nationally determined contributions of the country, how they are following. For example, one contribution of our country is we have to reduce our fossil fuel and we have to increase our renewable energy capacity by 50%, whether we are increasing that or not. And India has a target of carbon neutrality by 2070. So what steps we are taking? So we are going to track the progress of our country under this tracker, global implementation tracker. And this one here is, they also came up with global goal of adaptation. That is nothing but they are going to have an adaptation roadmap, how they are going to achieve this renewable energy targets. And this one is, they also came up with this Balam Health Action Plan. Health Action Plan is nothing but because of this climate change, obviously it will be having impacts on the health of the people, right? So here they are also going to control this climate justice, and they are focusing on health equity. What is meaning of health equity? Developed countries, they have technology so that they can give advanced treatment for the people. But what about this developing and as well as least developed countries? If they're not having proper advanced technology, can they treat all kind of diseases? No. So for that only they are focusing on health equity. Irrespective of country they belongs to, they need to get access to this advanced healthcare. That is the next important point they said. And next one is, they want to increase this tropical forest forever facility. So why we need to increase this forest cover? Because it is one of the important carbon sink, right? We are increasing more and more carbon dioxide emissions. How can we decrease this climate change or global warming? By absorbing more and more carbon. For that, we need to have this increasing of forest cover. And how can we know that whether the forest cover is increasing or not? We need to use the satellite data. So under this tropical forest forever facility, we are going to use a satellite based monitoring, and we are going to preserve our tropical forest, which will be acting as carbon sinks. And this one here is, we are also focusing on hunger, poverty, people-centric climate action. So these are the some important points or the highlights of this COP30. But this article is not talking about all these highlights. It is focusing on what are the backlogs or what are the shortcomings. So first one is, there is no agreement on fossil fuel phase out. One important problem, they are saying that we have to move away from the use of fossil fuels, but there is no agreement regarding this, how much percentage of fossil fuel short has to be done year on year basis. That is a one important negative thing. And this one is weak progress on climate finance. Now here this developed countries has to give the finance or money to this developing and as well as least developed countries, but this finance is always very low. Always this developing countries used to go for demanding, but they are not getting any funds. So there is a very weak progress in climate finance. That is the second important problem. And next one is there is delay in this NDCs, that is nothing but nationally determined contributions. So every country is coming up with its own nationally determined contributions. I will do all this. But always environment is compromised in the search of economic development. So that is the next important shortcoming. And third one is implementation gaps remains unaddressed. So if the countries are not addressing or not focusing or not reaching the targets of NDCs, they are not focusing on like how can we decrease that gap. So that is a one more important problem. So whatever the implementation gap is there, we are not addressing that. And next one here is we are not focusing on dedicated funding as well. So only just transition is not at all helpful. We have to focus on dedicated and predictable financial support. Then only developing and least developed countries can adapt to this. So these are the shortcomings which are highlighted in this article, guys. See this article, beginning and end, this is talking about Harish Rana case itself. We discussed about this in clear. And here you have to say about right to live with dignity is part of Article 21, and even right to die with dignity is also part of Article 21. So how can you expect a question is right to die with dignity comes under which article? They may give Article 19, 20, 21, 22 like that. So how this earlier right to privacy related judgment related questions were there, in the same way you can expect this kind of questions for this Harish Rana case. Just simply they may ask about Article 21, and the second area they may ask the question is about euthanasia. These two are very high possible questions for 2026 prelims. So see these two things. And next one here is you may also get a question regarding this case called as Common Cause versus Union of India case. In yesterday's class I said no. So there we came up with establishment of medical boards, and next one is passive euthanasia is allowed, and next one is living wills. So these 3 points you have to remember from this Common Cause versus Union of India case. So these three are the possible questions. First one is Article 21, next one is right to die with dignity, next one is euthanasia, and next one is common cause. Okay, see this next article, guys. Why India must electrify its kitchens? Is that the need now? You know, in hostels, every day breakfast is upma. Change chesara? Rice? Rice related, upma related food because of shortage of LPG. We can also not, we cannot question them. Why only this upma? They will say, are you preparing for UPSC? Don't know what is happening in India. They will only question you in return. We cannot question them, right? So that is your situation, I can accept. Okay, see here, this article is saying that whatever the LPG requirement in our country, we are not producing in our country. Only 13 million tons we are getting, not all. So remaining everything around 58 to 60% of our LPG imports we are getting from West Asia. From which countries we are getting? One is Qatar, Saudi, from West Asia. I said on that day, I already told you to make the list of the countries from which we are importing gas. Do that now, after the class. Okay, see here, this article is saying that electric cooking is cheaper than compared of this unsubsidized LPG. If government is not giving LPG on subsidy rates, if you want to cook in our home by using this LPG will become very costly compared to that of this electric cooking in our country, because most of the gas is like provided by the government on a subsidized price. So that is the one reason why we are going for this LPG cooking in our homes rather than using that electric stoves. Induction stoves will be like very cheap. And next important point here, this article is saying that if suddenly millions of kitchens, they are moving from this LPG towards this electric currents, electric stoves or induction stoves, etc., can we manage that? Normally in summer season, there will be increased demand for electricity. At that time, I think if you are from rural areas, you might came across this thing like cutting off, like power shortage. Power cuts will be there in villages. Why? Because whatever the demands we are having, the government cannot meet the demands. The major reason is most our electricity is based on thermal electricity, and hydropower is also less compared to that of other countries. That is the reason why in the peak time sometimes demand cannot be matched with the supply. So if our all millions of kitchens, if they are moving towards electric related things, can our government meet the demands? That is the one problem now in our country. And next one here is, this article is saying that induction cooktops are far more efficient than LPG burners. At mass adoption will require multi-pot appliances, smart demand response, and upgrade to distribution infrastructure. So whatever the discoms are there in our country which are supplying this electricity, we have to make certain changes for our supply of electricity. Then only we can meet the demands of this electronic appliances in the kitchens in the future. And next they said that rather than going for this only using of thermal electricity, now we have to encourage these houses to go for rooftop solar system. If we are going for this establishment of rooftop solar batteries, etc., then only we can reduce the dependency of India's on even coal, and as well as India's dependency on this fossil fuels. That is the article which is mainly said here. So here you have to see about the schemes which are focusing on improving of solar power in our country. What are those schemes? PM Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana, it is 2025 prelims question. And next, PM Kusum scheme, very good. Next. Okay, those are the two schemes which are talking about solar power in our country. So see about that. So have you understood this? Rather than using this LPG, we can go for electric related cooking appliances. But the problem will be like government cannot meet the demand. That is the first one. And for that, what we have to do, we have to go for installing of solar rooftops so that we can address this problem in future, guys. Okay, now let us see the questions. Consider the following statements regarding sixth schedule. First one, autonomous district councils under sixth schedule can make laws on subjects in state lists such as land and forest. Members of autonomous district councils are elected by adult franchise. The sixth schedule applies to tribal areas in all northeastern states. Which of the statements given above is or correct? Huh? What about first one? Think. You can do it. See here, next question. With reference to Gulf of Oman, consider the following statements. It connects Persian Gulf to Arabian Sea through Strait of Hormuz. Second one, it is bounded by Iran. It is bordered by Iran, Pakistan to the north, Oman and UAE to the south. It lies entirely within the territorial waters of Iran. Which of the above statements are correct? Think. Online students, please let me know your answers in the comment box. By this, I'm concluding. Thank you so much, guys, for watching.